Is that a bougie place?
Yeah, it's kind of known for like.
Yeah.
Well.
That's good. That's good. A little flex in there early.
I mean, not my family, but like just the neighborhood.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Your McDonald's actually has like ice cream machines and shit.
Right.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, let's start.
Is it already recording?
Yeah, but I can cut that out. All right, ready? All right, that's so I can sync everything up.
Okay. Great. Awesome.
Great. Okay, welcome back, everybody. This shit's fucking weird. I haven't done this in person before. But we're back because I was bored. Welcome to the pilot.
Nice.
Of season 2, I guess. So yeah, if you want to introduce yourself, you can.
My name's Cham.
Talking to the mic.
My name is Cham. I'm a sophomore studying CS from Hinsdale, Illinois. A friend of Andrew's, and he asked me to be here today.
Great. My name is Sanskar. I like to go by Lil Wayne. I'm an EECS major, second year, also from Illinois. I'm here because I hate Andrew, and I want to argue with him on everything. So.
All right, yeah, and then I'm Andrew. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Normally I do this with our other friend Jake, but he's in Hawaii, so couldn't do it in person. But you know, maybe something over the summer will happen. But okay. So let's get started. Reason I brought you two together was because you're both from Illinois, and we were talking about it a little bit. It's like, who the fuck's from Illinois, bro? Like,
it's a lot of people, dude. You got the Chicago
right? Okay, but like from here, like you guys are the only two people I know that are from there.
That's fair.
There's a decent amount
From or like that are here
in Berkeley. Yeah.
Really?
Do you know like anyone from your high school or anything, or?
Panaki. He goes by Mineral now, maybe Baganavan, something like that.
Okay.
There's this other girl named Leah Wang, but...
So 2 people.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you meet people on the street and a lot of them are from, like, the Chicago suburbs, surprisingly.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't remember their names, but...
I feel like I've been like hunting, dude. Anytime I see like one of those like bios on like CS61B staff or something where I see someone with like Chicago on there, I automatically have like more respect for them.
Really?
No, it's because like I've seen like 2 people and one of them is my roommate and you're the second, so like that's about
Interesting.
it. Yeah, so it's kind of tough.
It was crazy. I actually wanted to introduce you guys last year because when I met you guys, you're like, I was like, you both are from Illinois. I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like I didn't know, like, yeah, but whatever.
You didn't know that 2 people could exist from Illinois.
No, I just didn't expect it, right? Because like I don't know, when I walk around and when I talk to people, like everyone I seem to talk to is from like Bay Area,
yeah,
or like SoCal, right? And like I don't know why it's so hard to see like out of state kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How do you find the like differences between like California and Illinois life?
I don't know how much of it is differences between California and Illinois generally, or just differences between, you know, my immediate hometown and a university environment. But I guess I was talking to my friend about this today actually, because he's struggling, you know, socially at school. He's about to transfer, so he's a little nervous too. But I guess one of the things I realized is that in high school and when you're in your hometown, like, you know, all those people grow up in the same environment. So I guess the personality is a lot more homogenous and it's a lot more easy to feel comfortable around a stranger because you guys sort of have the same guidelines and the same social playbook versus, you know, when you go to school, there's so many different areas being represented.
Yeah.
And it creates some sort of clash almost.
No, for sure, yeah. I mean, like, Illinois, I think maybe 5 brown people in my grade, so this is, like, very different culturally. There's, like, a lot more diversity, right?
Oh, so there are, like, a lot of white people in Arlington Heights? I see.
There's, like, it's, like, mainly Jewish and Hispanic, so, like, not a lot of, like, Indian folk, and so that was, like, damn, I, like, hear people talking Hindi and stuff here, which is, like, crazy. But, yeah, I mean, like, it's definitely, like, different. I feel like, I mean, I didn't have, like, anyone from home, like, from my high school come here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, like, I was kind of, like, on anytime I met anyone here, because it was, like, this is a new person, I gotta make a good impression, like, you know. Like,
do you feel anxious because you didn't have, like, a a platform to start off of?
I mean, like I was on campus, right? First semester, freshman year, which like not that many people were, and I had like a nice little. It was like a suite, so it was like 2 rooms, and like I had it single occupancy, and my like suite mate had their own room. So I just like honestly for the first couple months, I just kind of like sat there, like watched Avatar, watched my classes online. And I was just like in my own little pod, and I think about that a lot because like I wasn't necessarily like sad about that. I was like fine. I was doing okay. But then as soon as like I started seeing that there was people on campus, I did feel like a pressure to like, okay, I need to meet people, I need to socialize, and I need to make the best impression because I don't have like a social circle to bounce back on. I don't have like friends to rely on immediately. So I mean, it was something for sure.
Do you feel like you were successful?
I think to an extent, like I think I'm still trying.
Right.
I got some homies that, support me, that have my back. Andrew isn't one of them. He hates me. But like, it's worked out, I think, to an extent. How about you?
Well, you sort of mentioned that during your first semester, you were sort of in your own little pod. I guess that's been my experience for this last semester, actually. So freshman year I was in the dorms, and naturally you just get to interact with a lot of people, and then the semester after that ended, I moved into my frat in a double, and you get to see a lot of people there too, but I feel like since I wasn't able to spend a lot of time alone, and then condition wise the house is not very cleanly. So for a combination of those social and livelihood reasons, I left, and I'm in a new flat with people I don't really know too well.
Yeah.
I found them off Facebook, so I'm just kind of in my single, and I spend a lot of time alone, but I think it's good because I don't mean to be deep, but like it cultivates like a sort of independence, and then you actually do have time to realize what your thoughts and opinions are, I guess. And now I think I definitely am still seeking better social activity, but I think I can approach it with a clearer agenda, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I think that definitely makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, like, because I have a bunch of my friends are like here, and then like, so I guess I didn't have to like deal with like what you guys did, but sometimes like inside I kind of wish I want to like see like how I would react if I was like by myself, like because like it would kind of like I feel like I want to challenge myself, but like that's only when I get like super brave,
Yeah.
But like I feel like most times I just be like I don't know.
But
like,
if your friends weren't here,
right? Well, then I'd kind of be forced to do that.
For survival reasons, you'd be
right. But
I mean, you could just be like lonely and sad too. That's an option.
It is an option, but I think I'd much more prefer to be happy and.
I think that's a good choice. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I'm just saying that because like I wasn't like lonely and sad, but I was thinking about this right. Freshman year, like I like FaceTime my friends from home so often because like that was still like my main friend group, and to an extent, like I'm like ready to go home, so I'm like still looking forward to meeting them, over summer and stuff like that, but. That's gonna like go away in a year because like people are gonna get like internships that are like not at home and stuff like that. So this is like I guess maybe the last summer or whatever. But like I relied on my friends back home pretty heavily. I think first semester, but like I also had like a good amount of interaction with the people around me. I don't want to sound like a hermit crab, but like I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I don't like talk to my friends as much at home as I used to. It's like once every 2 months you check in and make sure everybody's still alive, but that's about it, I guess. But yeah, I think it was definitely a different experience at the beginning because of all that.
I actually still like talking to a lot of my friends back home. I don't do it often either. I'm never really the one to reach out, but when I do have that conversation, it's nice because it reminds me of like how close, I am with that person. And sometimes it's almost a little sad because I feel like I don't have that breadth or depth here, but I think that's just, it just comes with a new place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I could never imagine like being that far away, because that's scary, dude. Like if I went like halfway or pretty much across the whole country, like I don't know what I'd do. Like
I don't think you like think about it that much, like in terms of distance. Like you take the flight and then you're here, and then after that you don't really consider the distance unless it's like some scenario where you're thinking about home, right? So unless you're extremely homesick, like there's some times where I'm like, damn, I kind of want to like get a home cooked meal today, and I'm like, well, that's not an option. So like you think about it then, and it's I think I've done a good job of like, I didn't go back home for spring break because I wanted to see how long like I can sort of like continue to, I don't know what the right word is, but like wean myself off of being dependent of staying at home, because I went home for like the last 2 months of freshman year fall semester, and it was really like nice to be home. The more I can stay here, the more I'm like independent. I think the less you feel like the homesickness, because you get more and more used to it. Right. So I think, yeah, it's just over time you get better with it, and you don't really think about the distance as much. I think it would have been like comparable if I was like a 3-hour drive versus the flight home. I think that distance at a certain point doesn't really matter anymore because it's all in your head.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
I feel like, but for me, like a main concern is like when I just moved up here like last spring, it was like in my mind I got homesick like pretty often, but the idea was like, yeah, I could go back whenever I want, right? But like as I've been like after going through like sophomore year now, it's just like it doesn't really cross my mind anymore. Like I'm homesick, I want to go home. So I feel like in the future, like if this keeps going on, like I'm gonna be like, I'm like desensitized to it already, right? So like I guess I just won't put that much value in it anymore, which I really like. I still want to, like, because obviously like that's where I grew up. That's my parents. That's my family, right? But but sometimes if it just doesn't cross my mind, like I will like just not remember or think about it, you know. So I don't know. Yeah.
It is nice to have your parents bring groceries, though. I'm always a little jealous of my friends who have that option.
Yeah. Like, whenever I'm running on something, it's just like, oh, I'm going to go home and then, like, get a supply drop and then come back, you know?
No, I think in that sense it's been good. I've lived with 3 other people who have out-of-state families. Actually, one of them, you know Sonny, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he's also from, like, the Chicagoland area, but his parents just moved here like 20 minutes away, but at a certain point in time at least, like everybody had out-of-state family, so you like nobody's getting that special treatment. Everybody's homesick. Everybody's like, damn, it's a couple hours away, so we're all suffering together. Group cry sessions. Exactly. No, every Friday night we scheduled it out on the calendar.
Okay. I guess we talked about, or you brought it up earlier about like the biggest like lifestyle changes. I guess like what shocked me, or like it was different because to you guys are like, oh wait, there's a lot more like Indian people here. There's not more Asian people here. But for me, actually, when I moved up here, I was like, wow, there's so many white people here.
That's ridiculous.
No, because literally from where we were from, it was like what, like 50 or 60% Asian, and then like maybe like 20% like Latino, and then like 10% white, 10% like African American. Like it was like literally like majority Asian. So like we came up here and I was like on campus looking around. I was like, wow, there's a lot of white people here. And then like you guys are like, dude, what are you talking about? Like
I kind of wonder what the white people in your high school, like how that dynamic plays out.
I think a lot of them, like
10%. That's a really small minority.
They become the minority. That's so.
No, they like a lot of them like got like Asian habits. I mean, because that's what you're surrounded by. Right?
Yeah, no, I want to see that. That's.
Yeah. You want to see that? You want to come to San Jose with me? I mean, I feel like it's still like during like high school and stuff, they would still like hang out with like there's that natural separation.
Like, because I don't know, the Asians here in California, personality wise, are like entirely different from the Asians back home, and I think that's just entirely because you're a majority or a minority.
Really?
Yeah. So that's how I was.
So you think like the Asian people back home act like white people back home, or
well,
like
not even in that regard. I think when you're a minority, I guess a lot of the stereotypes are easier to be true because there's not enough space to differentiate yourself with your peers because you feel like your group is so small, and then when other people like enforce those ideas, you just kind of take it.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean that definitely makes sense. I think like there was again like 3 or 4 other Indians in my grade. And we all had like different personalities in different sports and everything. We weren't like all mimes of each other, but for sure, like, first of all, I never felt more like American or like white until I came here. I've been introducing people my entire life. I've introduced my name as Sanskar.
That's how you introduce yourself to me.
It's spelled Sanskar. And every white person will pronounce that as Sanskar.
Right.
I come here, the first Indian person I introduce myself to as Sanskar, they're like, what are you doing? I was like, why, what's wrong? He's like, it's Sanskar, isn't it? I was like, yeah, but like, everybody back home calls me Sanskar. And it's like, I had like a small, tiny little identity crisis. I was like, who am I? I'm a Sanskar. Like, half my friends back home, most people still know me as Sanskar. Most people here know me as Sanskar. It's weird, dude, but like I'm still getting used to it, and for sure, like I think, the best way to put it, I think, is how you said, like, you embrace a lot of the stereotypes of your culture when you're not able to like explore and see the nuances, just because there's not that many people around you of that culture.
Mm-hmm.
You see like the commonalities of the people that share your culture, and you want to like embrace those to hold on to at least a few characteristics that you can. So I definitely like, it was a cultural shock, and it was cool too because then you see like a lot more variety in cultures, traditions, celebrations, and it's just like nice. It's cool to see that diversity in your own like culture. Yeah.
Cool. Let's shift gears here. I wanted to talk about how, like, we're pretty much, or you look around now, pretty much COVID's like, or I can say we're like we're approaching the end. We're like at the post-COVID type of thing. And then, so like I kind of like wanted to just reflect about like what happened, because like that shit was long. And I don't know, like the whole reason why I started this like podcast with my friend in the beginning was because it was COVID, and then like we weren't allowed to go out, right? So but we still wanted to keep in touch with our friends. So then like we'd like hop on a call with like everybody, like with like one person, and like do it like once a week where we just have like a conversation, so like we could still talk to people, like hang out, catch up, like so like without like just like I don't know, rotting away in our homes, right? So like I guess what did you guys do to like pass the time during COVID, or like any new hobbies you developed, or even like currently, like is there anything like you're super into?
You want to go first?
Sure. I think during COVID it was just like a lot of video games, a lot of group FaceTime video game, and then you kind of live in that virtual world. I don't know. In Illinois, we kind of had an interesting timeline though, because in 2020, things got serious in March, and then everything shut down until May or like June. But then in Illinois, like people kind of just like went straight back to completely normal, like June, July, when I know California was like on lockdown, but we had like that period of normalcy, and then I came to school, and I feel like it was more restrictive here at school, even though it was on campus than back home.
Yeah, no, definitely, it was crazy because like my first time before I went home, like I'd run on campus here, and even then I'd have a mask right here. Anytime I pass someone, I'm putting that on immediately. Everywhere I go, I have the mask on me, like at all times. I get home and like there's nobody with a mask on outside. Inside, maybe you'll see people, but outside, like, definitely not. And it's like a shock, and I was like, you know, if I were to like not wear a mask in Berkeley, I'd feel like I'm automatically just like a racist person. But like in Illinois, it's just like the norm, and it's such a weird like cultural difference and all that. And obviously, like, I think Illinois is probably like a little more like conservative in that regard, but it was so interesting to see these two different sides of how people are handling COVID, and how it wasn't like any major outcries in other situations. These were just like the norms at these two different places.
Mm-hmm.
There's like no big deal about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know that, actually.
Yeah, it is wild, dude. Like, I mean, I still like played it pretty cautious my summer going into freshman year, for sure. Like, the way I'd hang out with my friends is that we'd park our cars in a parking lot, and we'd all like open up the back and just chill, and everybody would be like, you know, 10 feet apart in the back of their cars, just like hanging out. And it was like, I played it pretty cautious just because, like, you know, I live with my grandma and stuff like that, so I wanted to be careful. But for sure, I knew people that were just like back to normal by the summer. So yeah.
Yeah, that's. I don't know. I think my parents are just really like scared about it too. So like, but I don't know. I took
Chinese thing.
But then they allowed us to like, or you're supposed to like you're allowed to go out and do like exercise and stuff. So like me and my friends would just all meet up in the park and we play like spike ball, and we play like every single day for like a couple months straight, and then I don't know, after we all went to school, I guess we just stopped. But yeah, I mean, it was just a really like nice thing to do to pass the time. Like it was like, it would be like 4 or 5 when like the sun is going down. It'd be nice and cool, and we all like bike to the park.
I had a club meeting with my club the other day, and one of our community leader was lamenting the death of Among Us.
Oh, that happened.
Right, he's still into it, and he was telling me about how like they've created so many updates, and now there's game trees and like pets and different skins and different environments, and they changed the meta. Dude, but that was like, yeah, that was. We
really played Among Us like every night for like a good like 2-3 months.
We definitely played it. Honestly, the most I played it was like the first month of freshman year fall semester, when I was like getting to know everybody. It's like what we did to hang out. Like
that was the icebreaker?
Yeah, that was the icebreaker, which I thought was like pretty cool, because like you meet people and like you'd figure out who like acts a certain way in different situations without like asking questions like, oh, what's your star sign and shit like that. So it was pretty nice. But,
you ask people that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. But no, it's just like interesting that game like popped off and then died down. But the one thing that is, I think at least, has stuck around is Fortnite, which I don't even like want to.
Do you still play? Do you play?
Dude, I hopped back on for the first time.
I've been playing.
Actually?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Let's play.
Dude, the no build like changed everything. But
get on it, bro.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It's like it was there before COVID. It like peaked in COVID, and then it's like still kind of here. Whereas like, who would like playing Among Us anymore, or like Fall Guys, which was like a thing for a little bit.
I bought Fall Guys, worst $20 I've ever spent.
Dude, I've made so many terrible video game investments in my life. I don't even like go down that road. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Among Us was. I do think it was like a good icebreaker looking back, for sure.
I want to go there because I don't know. Normally, like I overthink having conversations with people a lot. Or like when I'm especially just the first thing when I'm trying to approach someone, like I just won't know what to say. But like in terms of icebreakers, like I feel like a lot of the stuff that like organizations and stuff make you do, it just makes you feel so stupid. Like I hate them. But like if you ask me to think of like an icebreaker, like I can't name one. So like I guess like what's y'all's like go to like when you're introducing yourself, or like when you're trying to strike up a conversation with like a stranger per se, like what would you do, like. Or what have you guys gotten success from? Like, what strategies?
I mean, I already said star sign, so I'll let you answer.
I'm pretty bad at introducing myself to people. I think normally I just whatever works. I don't know. I don't have like a go-to plan. Maybe I should, but it's just like
ask them what their blood type is, something like that.
No, I don't ask that. If I just like, I don't know, if it's like, if we're in the same class, I'll just start talking about the class.
Yeah.
It was like just sort of anything.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I get that.
I've been not talking to people for a while though, so.
Yeah. I think like I have phases. Like normally beginning of semesters, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make an effort to talk to people.
Yeah.
But then like as like I get to like, I don't know, like the middle or like that stuff, I'm just like, yeah, I give up. Like that's too much work. Because talking to people is a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't know if it's COVID or if it was like coming all the way to California and going to college, but I've definitely seen a big change in myself, which is that I wasn't always like, I know how to talk and I think I can articulate myself well, but I wasn't like a very social person. I had friends that were like super social, so I always had like opportunities to go hang out and have fun, and I never had to do like the work myself of like meeting people, because I just meet them through my friends. But then I came here and I had to like talk and like meet people and like plan things, and it's so much work, and it's not like who I was like 2 years ago. And I don't know, some parts of it are good, like planning, being able to plan is good, being able to talk is good, but definitely like I talk so much more than I used to. I'm like honestly like probably trying to cut down at this point. Like,
really?
Dude, it's like crazy. And
to strangers or to people you know?
Dude, in general, like I think it started off as a thing where I was just like, okay, say something to get a connection going, right? You start talking, you build some common ground. It's easier if you put yourself out there for someone else to put themselves out there. And I think it went from that to like, okay, now these people see me as someone who like talks and is social. Now I have to live up to that expectation and continue to build on that. And then sometimes I'm just sitting there in my room and I'm like, damn, I didn't I like the switch goes off and I'm like, damn, this like feels so much better. I can just like be quiet and chill. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a COVID effect. I don't know if that's a college effect. I don't know what it is. But
so do you classify yourself as an introvert and an extrovert?
I have no idea. I genuinely no idea. I feel like I psych myself out on those questions, and I'll always get a different thing, and I'll always like, you know, like you read a question, and sometimes you're strongly agree, sometimes you're slightly agree, sometimes you're like, nah, fuck it, I'm feeling disagreed today. You know,
it's
like,
always recency bias too.
Yeah,
Like, the
exactly.
last thing that happened, you're like, that's the only thing that's on your mind.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are your personality types, or what have you been? What's the most consistent one you've gotten?
Dude, I don't know. I haven't taken the test in a while. How about you?
I'm in ENFP, I think.
What does that mean?
Don't know.
Nice.
That's it's entertainer, I think.
I think it's campaigner, I think. Yeah.
You might want to check your facts on that
I'm
one.
pretty sure it's campaigner.
What does campaigner mean?
Don't know.
ENFP is the one I got the first time I took the test.
What are you?
Now it's INTP.
You're an introvert now?
You switch?
Yeah.
You switch
I don't
sides,
know.
bro?
I don't know if I'm introvert and extrovert either.
Yeah.
It's just what you're feeling, huh?
No, I've been getting INTP like consistently lately though.
Wait, I did not know you're into astrology, because I am a pretty
I thought
big...
that was a joke.
Are you? No, he said that's how you start conversations, right?
That was a joke.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, fuck, I'm tripping.
No,
I'm tripping.
I'm curious now. Where are you going with this?
Because I hate that shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're on the same page then.
What about you?
I don't have an opinion.
Okay.
I mean, hate's a strong word.
I see why it's interesting. You know,
I
there's
feel
so
like
much lore. It's like,
but like, it's just like, I guess if people can believe in a religion, they can. Okay, no, actually, I won't go there. But like,
take a hard stance. You're reading something. You know, like a good podcast.
no,
like,
yeah, but dude, astrology is just so stupid.
have you ever
man.
looked at it? Have you ever looked at it? They have like graphs. And it's like aligned
Right,
circles.
yes,
and then,
I've
you
seen
know,
that.
You have
like,
you know how much work it takes to draw a circle? That shit's crazy. There has to be
like,
science behind it.
look at my co-star. Look at my co-star, dude. No one fucking cares about your co-star, man. Like, come on, man.
Dude,
like,
we got him excited. Finally, I'm good. Speak to this.
dude.
He made it sound like your idea at first, but he's
No,
like
but he
holding this in for
brought it
a
up.
year.
Like, I was just listening. I was chilling, and then he said
Okay.
star sign, and I went, what?
Like you've known me for at least a little bit.
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You think star sign? Really?
That's what got me surprised. I was like, wait, what? No, but like, I don't know. I think this is like, a lot of people back home got like really into that stuff.
Really?
All the females got into that stuff.
Oh, that's
No, I mean,
and they judge me on it, bro.
I see why. Not that I'm into it, but I do see why. Like,
okay, like cool, good for you.
Give it like 10 minutes of research.
But then they like no, I've looked at it because they've asked me, and I have to like find out like what's my sun, what's my rising, what's my like whatever the fuck that shit is, right? But like, it's just so stupid, man. Like,
you know, here, this is what I'm gonna say, right? Like, my mom has been a big like believer in manifestation, like all the time, and it's like worked out for her. There's like this one time. Like, dude, there's, like, prophetic things that have happened that have, like, made her believe it. And it's, like for example, what's it called? Actually, I'll give you an example of something that happened to me, right?
Okay.
And I was like, damn, like, this shit is wild. But I used to have, like, a golden doodle, right? A dog. And his name was Sherlock. A few years go by, and because of, like, allergies and medical issues, like, we had to give Sherlock to another family. And I was, like, really torn up about it because I was in, like, 8th grade and I was super sad. And I had a dream the night that we gave him up that I was petting this golden doodle, right? And I had this sense in my mind that the golden doodle wasn't mine for some reason. And I pet it, and then I called its name. And the name I called it was Shadow. No idea why I called that name, right? But it was enough for me, for some reason, for me to wake up from that dream, write it down in my notes app saying dream dog shadow. Those 3 words, right? The dog from my dream, whose name is Shadow. Flash forward to freshman year, fall semester. I get a call from my I haven't told anyone about this dream, by the way. I get a call from one of my family friends back home, and he's like, yo, dude, we got a golden doodle. And I was like, dude, no way, that's insane, that's crazy. He's like, yeah, his name's Shadow. And that moment in my life, I went absolutely insane for like at least 2 weeks. It was right before orientation, and I'm telling you, that's the reason I got off to like a bad start, I think, with so many people, because I brought that shit up in like I was like, dude, am I like a prophet? What the fuck is going on here? This is crazy. Like, it just, I went like crazy looking for that note. I found it. I have the note screenshotted still that says Dream Dog Shadow. And who names like a golden dog Shadow, right? Like that's like a dark colored dog's name because like Shadow is a dark thing. But I don't even know, dude. That shit was crazy. And you know what? Since then, it's not that I like believe in any of this stuff, but I can give my mom like, yeah, okay, fuck it. Like, manifestation is your thing. That's great. Like I think it's fine for people to believe in like what they believe in, because even if it's just like coincidences or it's not.
No,
right,
I agree. It's fine.
No.
But I just don't like it. I don't like it.
Don't try to backpedal your way out of
I don't
this
like
now.
it.
It's religion. This is what he
I
said.
did not say religion.
You
Whoa!
said that people can believe in a religion. People can believe in this.
People can believe in a religion. I don't care.
Yeah, so that's your clip for today.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
Man,
Gaslight Central here. Gaslight
April
Central.
29th, 2022.
Okay.
You get his address, and you want to cancel him, all that.
But yeah, I don't know. I just can't do astrology. Dude.
No, I don't. I definitely don't like believe in it, but I'm not as cynical as I used to be. And it's
Did you
not,
start paying attention to your dreams more after that?
Dude, I've always paid attention to my dreams. I have the weirdest dreams, and they're too. I don't know. I feel like there's an age where people say like you stop having like vivid dreams or something like that. But I've always had like very vivid dreams.
How many at night?
Always one that I remember.
I see.
I don't know if maybe I have multiple, but then there's always like times also where like multiple dreams like fuse together. They never make any sense, right? Like sometimes though, like I don't know, it's weird. None of that. I'm not saying that I believe that I'm like a prophet. I'm not saying I don't believe that. No, I'm kidding. But you know, people believe what they want to believe, and that's like. It's good to have a little something extra to give a little spice to your life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you hate religion. That's okay.
I did not say that.
Yeah. We have it on camera.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah.
No, I think if the astrological gods or whatever, the signs, if they favored me a little more, I might be more supportive.
Yeah.
But
Well, you think you're an unlucky person?
no, it's dude. So like apparently everyone has something against Virgo men. and I happen to be a Virgo man.
Oh, Virgo men are trash.
Right.
Everybody knows that.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why fuck astrology.
That's the reason why we beef, because you're a Virgo man.
Honestly, like, dude, if someone said, if astrology said Virgo men are the best men ever, I'm on that train, bro.
For sure,
like, I'm riding that thing to like.
Dude, I didn't know this. Okay, what do they say about Leo men? I'm selfish like that. I want to know what my.
I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know anything about this because I don't like give the. If you're watching this and you know astrology, first of all, I'm sorry. Sorry for not liking astrology.
He's not.
I'm not. But Sanskar wants to know what a Leo.
Yeah, would you comment down below if I am like Sigma or something? Let me know. Thank you.
I think they're supposed to be headstrong, like a lion.
I'll bet. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be too obvious though? Like.
No, mine's Cancer. It's soft on the inside, hard on the outside. Like that's also like pretty stereotypical of a.
Are you soft on the inside?
Of course not.
Giga Chad moment.
I'm not even touching that.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about that stuff. Maybe one day we'll get someone who actually understands that stuff on here, and then like we can
grill them about it. You can tell them how much you like hate everything that they believe in.
I'm a hater, but that's only because I don't. You can do like my mindset has always been this. Look, I don't give a shit what you believe in, but I just like.
So you're an atheist.
Okay,
Dude,
well, let's not go there. Let's not
go there. He breaks it about himself, though. You always like.
No, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, you can believe in whatever you want. Like,
started with like astrology, and now we've just turned.
No, right. Now you're fucking dragging me through like the mud. Right, exactly.
Great, I love this. This is amazing.
Oh boy.
Illinois Unite.
I'm getting attacked by Illinois people,
yeah, Illinois
bro.
people don't hate people who believe in religion, so we're cool like that. Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay.
Moving on.
Thank God we're moving on. Big era of content creation. Like, I know you talked to me about like, or you're into like photography and stuff, right? But like the digital media type of stuff. Like, I guess, but we're all like CS majors, you're EECs, but so I guess like it's like not really common for like I feel like a lot of us to like have like to view like creating content or like artistic stuff as like a job if like we're in like CS, right? So like I don't know, most people would like view it more as a hobby, but like I guess like what are your views on that? And then like if you were a content creator, like you see like the streamers nowadays like making like hella bank and stuff, like what would you want to do and stuff like that?
Dude, that's crazy because I was thinking about this earlier today. Like actually, I was like, I wonder what the finances are.
He predicted it.
No,
yeah, you manifested it. Yeah, right.
No, but like actually, I was thinking about it because I was trying to understand like. From a financial perspective, right? Like, if you're like a content creator who's popping off, like, your lifespan is probably 10 years maximum, right? For if you're a really solid content creator. Most people can like pop off for 2 years and then go downhill. Like, we're just now starting to see like the end of like, I don't know, the first YouTube era of content creators, right? Like you had, I don't know if you guys watched like Ryan Higa as a kid and all that. Like,
Kev Jumba.
Yeah, exactly.
Kev Jumba was gone though. Like,
yeah, but like he had a good like 5-6 years, and like they're still making content, right? So you haven't. I cannot think of like a single like old content creator who's transitioned to like a corporate job now or something like that. I don't know if that's like even a thing, but can those like 10 years like last you your life? And is that like, where do you go from there, right? Once you might have peaked as a content creator, what can you do in life? Like, it's
like what do Olympians do after they retire?
I think like a lot of them like get involved in like they start their own like businesses or like stuff they want to sell, like since they have like the platform.
Yeah.
So like that's how a lot of people can do it. Like I know a lot of content creators, like I know Ryan Higa has like an energy drink company.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or
a lot of people just keep on going even though nobody watches.
Right,
them.
I think like even though like they're not as relevant anymore, like
it's still their passion.
like if you're a streamer, you used to get like what 40-50K viewers at once. Yeah. Like when you fall off, you're still getting like what 2,000-3,000 viewers at once. So like I think it's still like sustainable.
Yeah, I guess my thought process is right. Like a lot of these content creators, they start off and they're like big houses, big expenses. Mr. Beast, I don't understand the finances of this dude. He gives away like $1 million at least every single video. Mm-hmm. How is that sustainable at all? Are these sponsors giving this man like $1 million every single? This company is like, yo, we're gonna drop like annually like $50 million in Mr. Bean money. Like that's okay with them? I don't like.
Right, I don't even remember any of the companies who sponsored him. Like he doesn't even give like a 30-second advert or anything that.
I don't. I've always been interested in.
It could just all be fake.
And like, I've considered it as a career before, for sure. Mm-hmm. Which is bold because I have like 3 YouTube videos total in my entire life. But yeah, it doesn't. I don't understand the finances of it, and being like CS majors, I feel like our future is so secure, right? Like we're pretty privileged in the fact that like. Most of our worst case scenarios are still like so good in comparison to even the average American. Like it's crazy like how privileged and good of a position we are like not only put in but we've put ourselves in. And so like it's such a sure, safe thing to go down this route, especially as like CS or engineering. In comparison, when you look at content, that's like you throw like all of your chances into that. There's a smaller success rate, and there's no, like, clear finish line, you know? And I think, I've been, like, rambling for, like, the last 5 minutes, but I think it's very interesting, like, the difference between the two is something, like, that I think leads to, like, why CS major people and, you know, engineering-related people probably don't focus as much on, like, content creation.
It takes an entrepreneurial spirit, for sure.
I don't know, but in my mind, like, I don't know. Like, looking forward, like, everything's mapped out, all that stuff. I don't know. I find it, like, boring, dude. Like,
I agree, for sure.
Which is why, I guess, like, I want to get into this. Like, if this pops off, I'm ditching CS for sure, you know? Yeah. But, like, I don't know. Like, the last guy we interviewed on this podcast, before we shut it down, he has, like, 1 million subscribers on YouTube now.
Damn.
And, like, all that stuff. And he's, like, playing, like, games and, like, stuff. You're like, I think he's transitioning to becoming like. Well, I mean, like,
content creation is also kind of mapped out though. Like, what do you see the difference?
But it's like more risky to make it big in content creation.
Also, so is that what the allure is? That you're taking a risk? Like, what's or like
because I feel like you can't really half-ass it, which is if you want to be a streamer and you want to like consistently build like viewers, you literally have to do it every single day and like keep building and building and building before like one day you get super lucky or like someone like raise you or something and then you start.
So you admire like the self-drive because you're still working every day for CS. Only difference is the condition when you don't do it is that you get fired immediately, versus when you're a content creation, you're already fired. So it's like...
Right, but I'm saying the highs are so much more high. If you become like a content creator, you can make so much more money than like...
Well, if you stay an engineer the entire time, yeah. But, there's more options, down that path too, I guess.
That is true.
But like, I feel like engineering is like a very safe option, right? You can... Once you get that degree and you're like a CS major, you will most likely be fine. Especially like 3 people here sitting from Berkeley studying CS, like you're gonna be fine, right? Content creation, your stuff could take a nosedive the next day and you have no backup plan, right? Mm-hmm. What you're selling is like yourself as a personality and not necessarily like you could have excellent skills in, let's say, like a video game, right? But so many people have like excellent skills in a video game. What would make you pop off is like your personality, or like who you are as a person. I feel like that goes for the majority, maybe not all, but the majority of content creation is the mind and the person behind it. Right. If that person gets burnt out because like they're cornered into some nook or cranny of what they have to be, or there's just like so much more weight on you as a person in content creation than there is in something like engineering, which is like maybe 9-to-5 job. You clock in, clock out. What is expected of you is these tasks, not of like your character or things like that, right? It's like, it's a lot more daunting to just be evaluated as a person on a daily basis. Like, I feel like that's insane. So it is like high risk, high reward for sure.
Yeah, but it just seems like the life. But I feel like, I don't know, like at some point it gets to be a little too much too. In my, like, I feel like I'd enjoy it for like I don't know, maybe the first year. But if like, all right, hypothetically, if I get into a situation where there's like thousands of people watching your every move, like I'd just be like, no, I can't do that.
Okay, but like think about it, like let's compare it to acting. I don't know if this is a good comparison, but think about it. There are so many people who will try to make it in the acting industry, right? The ones that make it pop off and are set for life, right? They will get those same annoyances of like scrutiny and all that stuff, but they're celebrities and they pop off and they're set for life. But the ones that don't make it, that's like 90% of people who try. I feel like that's similar for content creation. I feel like 90% of people who try for content creation don't make it. So I think like,
it's definitely higher than that. It's like 99.
Yeah, like
because what's interesting is it's so easy to start because of the internet. Like 50 years ago, if you wanted to become a content creator, like a writer or anything, you actually have to go through publishers, and like there's this hierarchy that you have to sort of battle through. And I think like the rise of technology has sort of negatively influenced art in a lot of ways, because there aren't those natural barriers set up. Like anybody can, even Andrew can fucking make a podcast now.
Right.
Even
so like the average quality is definitely a lot.
Like, just like unplugs everything.
Right. Okay. We're done. Yeah, we're done.
I'm joking, obviously, but like I think like the people who get seen, like TikTok, YouTube, everything are, they don't put as much thought and they don't dedicate themselves as much to making their art as people before the internet was a thing have to. And as a result, the quality is lower, and the general pool that you're seeing is lower, and people's standards go down.
I think, I don't know, like I agree with you, the amount of like low quality stuff out there is more, but that's just because there's more people posting. Right. But I still agree that I disagree that, and like in the sense that there's still a lot of people who are making very high quality stuff on YouTube, like, or even on TikTok. Like,
well, like take movies for example. Like the rise of the internet, influence advertising and influence consumerism. Now all the movies are just dopamine shots. Like Marvel. I don't like Marvel.
Not a big Marvel
because,
guy.
It's just all technology. It's just like it's just how much money can you spend to make these special effects. If you compare it to like the plot of any movie like 1990s or before, it's just so much worse.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, they made what, like 30, 40 superhero movies, like.
Yeah, but why is that getting so much attention?
See, okay, here's the other thing, right? I was thinking about this because I was also, there's so many different like aspects of this, right? As an individual person, you are consuming more content today than you were any other time in like history, for sure. Like that's not even a question. You turn on Spotify when you're like studying or something or working out. You watch YouTube or anything like that. You have Instagram, like. 100% you're consuming content so much more, okay? From an individual perspective, if every person is consuming more content, that means that there's a higher demand for content, right? Which means that more people make content, which means that the quality necessary for it to be viewed is less. Also, there are so many more like minorities that are able to view their interest in content. Marvel movies weren't necessarily created for like the general audience. They were created for like the big comic book like loyal fans who were like for sure gonna pay to see these movies because they hadn't seen like any good live action movies like for so long, right? That's what I think it started off as. And now Marvel movies like encompass people who never read like the original source material or care for the original source material. They're like their own running machine, and I think.
But that's what I don't like about it. There's the machine aspect. It's so commercialized. It's so, the companies have so much power and they have the most resources and they're gonna get the film sets and the space in the theater, like those slots in the theater. It's like the independent artist doesn't have a chance to shine at all, and because they simply don't have the resources to compete.
But then like who do you point that? I like totally agree with that, but then like
no one's to blame. It's just technology,
right? Because like Marvel is breaking records, right, for ticket sales and stuff. People are watching this stuff. So
I hate that we're falling for it.
Yeah.
Is like I guess what I'm trying to say.
No, I get it for sure. I feel like I for sure consume more content than I need to. Definitely, like on YouTube or whatever. I like sometimes I'll catch myself like watching a video. I'm like, do I really like? Am I gonna do with anything with this information? Do I really like need this in my life right now?
Right.
What else could I be doing? And then like I'll catch myself there, but then I'll still keep watching the video. So it's like I don't know.
That's an addiction though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And
like you're being controlled.
I think that's the case for a lot of people. I think like a lot of people watch movies for the sake of watching movies. Like it's not the experience it used to be anymore, right? And I mean, I don't know what the experience used to be. I'm like 19. Like
right.
I don't know what it used to be to buy a movie ticket for like 2 cents on the dollar and like go up and watch a movie that was like 10 frames per second or whatever. But like for sure, I think like I don't know. We have so much content coming at us at all times that it's difficult to hold up the same quality standard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like never been a really big like movie guy. Like I mean I'll watch like I have watched the Marvel movies and stuff like that. I don't know, yeah, I like them. I think they're cool. But like I won't be like but I'm also not like the super fan who like knows like the lore and stuff like you were saying, right? But like I don't think you should hate on the movie just cause like or on the
also
franchise.
Watch it. I also go. It's just like
yeah, but I'm not gonna hate on it. I'm gonna be like no, right? But like no, I won't support this. It's like no, I'll watch it, but like I'm not gonna get super invested in it.
I just think it's annoying that that's the most popular thing out there. It's like such a low level of, in terms of like the thought put behind it. If you disregard the special effects, it's such a low level of effort.
Like the plot, you're saying?
Right. Or even the acting. I mean,
some of the acting's not terrible.
I think like from our perspective, it's just shit.
Hot take central here.
No, I like this. Dude, I don't know. I've been watching Moon Knight recently. I like that. I don't know if you guys have watched that at all, but it's with Oscar Isaac, who like
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Dude is incredibly handsome and one of my favorite actors. But I think Marvel has some good acting, but I do agree that like who needs like a Morbius movie, right? Like I know that's not technically Marvel or whatever, but like who needs that? And who needs Jared Leto to be in it? For like this is just like so many things that are unnecessary, and like it's still bringing in like millions of dollars. It just will. That's just how it's going to be because someone's gonna watch it. And
that's why I like the Koreans had a good run right before COVID hit.
Oh, like Parasite?
Yeah, that was good. Like I feel like everything should be like that.
Okay, but the thing is, like, props to them though. Like, they've made a product that has been like that people hype up. So, like, if I were them, I'd pump out more movies. Like, this shit's easy. Like, I'm making so much money per movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, why would you stop?
Why would no? There's no reason for them to stop. It's not. It's not the creators' blame because it's working. It's like same with Apple. Like, the phones are like not different, but it's working. I just want to know. I just don't like the idea that the masses of people just go along with it. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like a lot of people just don't think for themselves in terms of this.
But like,
I mean, I guess like
also you think for yourself, even if then you will still watch it, right?
Right. So like, what are like as an individual, there's really nothing you can even do.
I
It's
mean,
sort
you
of
could,
like a
like,
prison.
not watch it.
It's like yeah, but then I don't, that's not gonna do anything. I guess you bring up. It's like
This is like the whole Amazon thing, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't support Amazon, but I'm gonna buy products on Amazon Prime because it's
Right.
like the fastest way, or like everything's connected anyways.
So I guess the problem is,
It's you.
advertisements
You're the
and
problem.
like marketing is just too effective.
You are the problem.
I am the problem. Sure.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I think companies definitely like know our brain so much better than we do. Like that's the thing. Like they just know what'll draw us in. They know what'll keep us there. And they know how to like keep us addicted. Like
Honestly, I think the only thing that can change it is a group, like a group of very passionate artists who will will fight against it and like band together in sort of like a neo-enlightenment era, like an artistic revolution of some sort.
so DC movies, right? Yeah. Yeah.
No, but I'm thinking like more like hippies or like people who like are borderline crazy,
Uh-huh.
but they believe in their art so much that they're willing to push it. The problem is they don't have the resources to be successful.
And
So
it's
then you
risky,
need another group of risky rich people, like crazy rich people who are so passionate about this that they're willing to patronize that group of artists. I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon.
I think like I heard like Marvel was like compared to like, oh, it's the Star Wars of our generation. But then now I think about it, it's like, well, I don't think so, because Marvel has like endless content they can make, or like not.
Also,
maybe
Star
not
Wars
endless.
was its own story.
Right,
There was
exactly.
an actual artist, a mind behind that. Today's movies, they're just like biting all of the content of the past. Like, sort of proves my point exactly. Like, they can't even come up with their own shit.
But like, it has to end somehow. Like Game of Thrones ended, right?
Dude,
Game of Thrones ended because they like weren't watching movies anymore.
I think
Or,
it's pretty clear that they're not gonna end because they already switched out the new cast. Like they already
Right, exactly. But I'm wondering like,
They already like sell replacement and everything.
so I'm thinking like, well, like Star Wars. I think Star Wars died. I don't know the like actual like reason behind it, but like I feel like because Marvel was getting so much more attention than Star Wars. Like towards the end, like they had like their little like overlap, right? But now like Star Wars is still like, making movies and stuff, but like it's just
different. That's not
right. It's not like
story at
Star
all.
Wars, right?
This is so funny because they're like both Disney. So like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter which one wins.
Right,
Disney
right.
still wins. Like, I mean, yeah, like Game of Thrones. Okay, I said some dumb shit. I said Game of Thrones only ended because the movies ended. What I mean is that
The
like
books,
the books ended,
right.
right? So like they were gonna have a spin-off for Game of Thrones. I don't know if they still are, but like they were gonna keep that going.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely destroyed themselves with the ending of Game of Thrones.
I heard it was terrible.
Which is only because the books weren't finished. Which again goes to the point that they couldn't make like their own original
Right.
content.
Mm.
But yeah, like Game of Thrones fell apart when it needed its own like artistic like integrity. And I don't know, I feel like some Marvel properties are more inspired by comic books than like word for word quotes. So I do enjoy it, and I think it's fine to like turn your brain off occasionally and watch a movie for like the ha-has or whatever. But like there's a lot of them and they all have the exact same formula, right? It's like this has been talked about by so many people, but it's like, okay, you have a hero, like some backstory, whatever, and then like, oh, they're winning and then they're losing, and then at the end of it they have to fight a dude who has the exact same powers as them. Like that's the formula, right? You look at like Iron Man 1, Black Panther, Morbius has this exact same thing too. Like, don't ask me how I know that. I didn't watch the movie.
Well, if a new upcoming movie, Doctor Strange literally fights himself.
Yeah.
So.
But like, am I still hyped to see like, oh, like who's gonna be in this movie? What's the multiverse? Like,
Yeah.
Dude, I remember thinking like in Avengers when like, spoiler alert, this is a years old movie, but still spoiler alert. But like when like everybody got like dusted away, I was like, dude, this is crazy. And like, why do I care? Like none of these characters are real, but like I still enjoyed it. And like,
I guess the problem is that wasn't available before special effects was a thing, so you couldn't like follow the imagination that far.
yeah.
So I guess it's just like it's a benefit.
They should have just ended Marvel there in Infinity War where everyone died, and then just not
so
make a
funny.
movie from then on.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's also like, I don't know, this is like a cliche argument, but like, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? Like, what you can make of these movies in your mind, like whatever you take away from it, I think determines the value of that movie from an individual standpoint. For most of these movies, you take away nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but if there's that one kid who's like, yo, this like movie taught me that like I should like be like selfless, like Captain America.
I think it's so far from life that I don't think you can actually learn any valuable moral lessons from it.
Yeah,
but I feel like that's why it's more like to us, yeah. But like if you imagine if you're a 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid,
I don't think that's like a viable source of nerd like.
Right, but it doesn't matter if it's viable or not. If they watch it and they're like, "Wow, that's cool," like that can lead them like.
I guess, but I think at that point it's more like chance.
Maybe
you know, because there's no actual. Like, you know, there's no story backing up the reason why I should be selfless. I think a lot of superheroes just are because it's good to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Like, okay, not to pivot the conversation away, but this is what I was thinking about. Like, I've thought about this so many times, which is, like, weird because, like, I'm 19, but I think about, like, what age I'd give my kids technology at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had a flip phone in, like, 7th grade till, like, high school. Like, I didn't get a smartphone until I was in high school. And I, like, thoroughly enjoyed that. Like,
not having it?
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like you were missing out?
Not really, no.
Really?
Like,
I got my first phone in, like, 8th grade, I think.
Yeah, I think I got Instagram on my mom's iPad in 8th grade, so, like, that got some social aspect. But, like, honestly, sometimes I think about, like, I wonder, like, if I just got a flip phone right now, how would life work, you know? Like, I thought about this. And
Wait.
Why?
I've been using a flip phone for 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
For the reasons you say.
Actually?
Yeah.
That's
actually.
Crazy.
Yeah.
No, I've been thinking about this because I was like, I feel like it satisfies most of the needs, you know?
It
That's
does.
like vintage 1960s.
The only thing you don't have is snack.
No,
bars.
he said. Wait,
It was manufactured in 2020. So, you know, the companies know that there's still suckers like me that'll buy this. Like.
Damn, this shit's Nokia. You could drop this from the top of the building. Damn.
He goes, dude, I'm at the Glade. It's so nice right now. It sends me a picture. It's all pixels, dude. Like, dude.
It's an artistic effect.
Yeah, okay, you know, fuck my hypothetical. Speak to this. Like, what has life been like?
It's not that different. I think the benefits are that I get out of bed and I go into bed better because I'm not using it, you know, in that transitionary period. And then like when I'm out, I get more time to think to myself instead of, you know, consuming. So I feel like it's more productive in that way. You know, I've been thinking about just the world a lot more.
Do you ever feel like you're missing out?
No.
Really?
Because I have a computer, so everything like that my phone can't cover, my computer can, except for TikTok. But that was like taking over my life anyway. So.
Okay, but like Instagram, you do that on your laptop or computer?
Yeah, every now and then. But I mean, I don't feel like I need to keep tabs on really anybody. Like the only people that matter are the ones I see in person anyway.
That's so bold. Like, I don't know if I could... I've thought about this before, but I don't know if I could do that, because, like, I feel like I'm too deep in the matrix, you know? Like,
I mean, what investments have you made?
I every time I think about, like, it... I deleted my Instagram for, like, 6 months a while back, and my dad, out of all people, was like, why'd you do that? I was like, I don't think I need it. He's like... But, like, this is how you can make connections with people in college and get to know about events that are going on. And, like, you know what? Like, he was low-key right. Like, I got to know about, like, this holy celebration that was happening because ISA's Instagram account talked about it. Like, there's still, like, methods of communication that you just can't, I feel like, get on a flip phone. But also, like, you avoid so much excess content, right? You avoid TikTok. You avoid, like... Do I really, like, I barely care about what I post on Instagram. How much do I care about, like, what other people are posting, you know? Like, it's cool to see how they're doing, and, like, I'm sure, like, everything's great with them, and that's, like, all nice, but do I need to see it? Mm-hmm. Will their life be affected if I don't, like their post? Not really.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter as much. So there's definitely some trade-offs, and, I mean, that's been a huge part of the discussion with, like, you know, like, Zuck's been in court and everything for, like, Instagram and Facebook, and it's like, is Facebook a net good or Instagram a net good? Because Instagram's been talked about a lot recently for addiction for children and all that stuff, right? And
that's just like the whole like ethics conversation. Or like, is it ethical to build like a web or an app that like tries to like take retain the most attention possible? Like,
yeah, and I mean, I think just the way Instagram is built right now, I don't know if it's a net good or net positive. I want to know. I feel like your take would be that it's like not worth, but I want to know what you guys think about that.
I mean, I don't think it's Instagram really is not that evil, but I don't see any good from it. Like I can't think of any like positives. I mean, I guess you listed a few, like it allows people to communicate a lot easier, but I think people do just fine without that too. Like you can post a flyer, you know, on some door and have your friends text you about it. Like without that, people function fine.
Yeah, I mean,
it's mainly a problem of, you know, like the technology is not advancing, and this is one of my dad's ideas, but technology is not advancing at a rate at which people need it. It's advancing at a rate at which people who are ambitious enough to make the money can push it. So as a result, like you see that, you know, we're having self-driving cars. You know, Facebook's gonna create an alternate universe. There's blockchain, NFTs, all this. Like, I don't think any of these are responding to a problem that, you know, something that humans are lacking. It's more responding, or it's more following an idea of what could be. And I just don't think it's necessary. I think it's too disruptive of people because it's taking us away from, you know, our natural state of being, and without that stability, people are just becoming more and more lost. And I think it's already happened for the past 2 decades.
No, I agree.
Like people are poorer conversationalists now than they were back then. Because you don't need talking is not as much of a necessity as it used to be. You can communicate through other means.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Like, what are your thoughts of like Instagram, or, you know, as a whole, like smartphone versus flip phone? What are you thinking as like net good, net bad? All of that?
I mean, like, obviously, like, you have your smartphone. It's literally like, it's just like a computer in your pocket, right? Like, I think it's useful in like some ways. If you just want to search something up, you can search it up and you can find the answer, right? In terms of like social media, like, I think it's like nice, like you don't have to like talk, or I guess sometimes like talking to people is like not that cool, like, or especially people you don't know that well. So like I guess like checking in, like knowing what everyone's doing, like all that stuff is pretty like it's useful. But like I definitely agree like that it's not something you need to check like every like 20 minutes or like every like to the point where you're addicted, right?
I think there's a balance.
Yeah.
Like I think I find myself using, you know, I call people, and then when I have my computer, I FaceTime them. I think those are the points where, you know, it's beneficial to us. You know, I don't think I would sacrifice past a flip phone point, but I think it's just gone further to where people are not in control of themselves anymore.
Yeah, I've been pretty good about like limiting it. Like I still haven't downloaded TikTok since it came out. And like I've been pretty proud of myself for that. But like I still do catch myself like going on Instagram, scrolling it, and then getting rid of it, and then like 5 minutes later going back and like,
it's annoying when you see the muscle memory happen.
Yeah.
You're like, you didn't consciously make the decision to do it, but you did it anyway.
Right, but like I feel like in my ideas, like, well, if I go back the second time and I already saw it, then it's like whatever. I don't need to see it anymore. But like it doesn't affect me that much. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like my problems are like with like YouTube and stuff. I go down those wormholes like quite a bit. But hey, I mean, it happens, I guess.
No, I mean, like, so earlier this week I was like sick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just on my bed the whole day, and like I spent legitimately maybe like 6-7 hours like on phone, laptop, whatever, Netflix, whatever, right? Because I didn't know what else to do with my time, and it got to the point where for like the first time ever I was tired of like consuming content, and like this has never happened before, and I've been on my phone for like a whole day before.
Right.
But I just like, I was like, I don't feel like clicking on a video, and that's like never happened. And I was like, is this it? Have I like
transcended?
Yeah. Have I like peaked? Am I reaching? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Have I exhausted the part of my mind that can consume content, or have I realized that I no longer need this?
How did you feel the next day?
The next day, I didn't watch like YouTube as much as I actually didn't watch YouTube at all the next day. Like YouTube has been the main thing where it's like I'll put it on, I'll put a podcast on when I'm like grading homework or like I'm doing something that is like not requiring my full attention. I don't know what it says, but like I enjoy having music, podcasts, stuff like that on, and yeah, I just didn't use it the next day. And I'm not gonna say that I'm not using it now. I still am, but definitely like it was a very interesting feeling in that moment to be like, damn, I don't care about any of this like at all.
Right.
And we'll see how long that lasts and how permanent that is. But yeah, it was a very interesting thing to like come across.
It's also interesting that you reached that point through exhaustion.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like how you're describing it.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. Like it's happened. I've had it happen before where I'm like on my phone for TikTok especially, and I'm like, all right, I shouldn't be using this, and I'll like stop using the app, and that's out of conscious like awareness of the time I'm putting in, not because my mind is no longer wanting to do it.
Right.
But the first time ever, like I just didn't want it. Again, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'll take it. You know, like I'll run with it as long as I can. We'll see.
So have you been consuming, less overall?
Yeah, at least the last 2-3 days.
And then do you do more of other stuff?
Honestly, I was just kind of like I was chilling in bed for the most part for the last couple of days, but like I have a South Asian class that I have to read a book for, and I hadn't read that book so I actually was like reading, and
that's what I like about moving away from TikTok and stuff like that, is because you grow bored, and as a child when we grow bored, the response is to seek something interesting, or like play sports or whatever. And I think that's a good human reaction, because it forces us to be productive. I think that's why boredom evolved as an emotion. I'm not saying that religion
okay, buddy.
is not a thing, but but with TikTok, I think it sort of like bypasses that natural response to where we're not able to tap into that innate potential.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, I felt like up until COVID, I was extremely good with how I handled content usage, phone usage, all of that stuff. I was like, phone usage, I was under like 2 hours. And
oh shit.
I was like good with that stuff. And in COVID, that all spiked. I was just consuming so much more, and I don't think it's gone down to where I want it to be. Like, I'm still lately averaging, I guess, like, I think like 4 hours on my phone, 4.5 hours, 5. Like, it's more than it needs to be. Like, I think about it, and I'm like, 5 hours in, like, let's say I'm getting 8 hours of sleep, to put 5 hours aside and think about what I could have done with those 5 hours. Although, to be fair, it's normally running in the background while I'm doing something else, right? Cleaning the dishes, making food, something like that. But still, that's so much like brain power that I could have just not used there. It has become addicting. Like, I have had the instinctual thing where I'm like, I need to fill this void in my mind right now. And I'm conscious of it enough where I've started to make those changes. But it's definitely, I think, something that happened over the last 2 years. That not only did I begin like filling that void with content, but I also started acknowledging that.
Right. It's crazy how fast our standards change. Because I remember back in elementary school, I like our teachers would tell us about like studies of or there'd be these posters of like screen time usage and how you should be spending more time outside. And I read that the average middle schooler, average high schooler spends like 2 hours on the internet a day, and I thought that was ridiculous. Like 2 hours was an eternity for me back then. But now, like you said less than 2 hours, and Andrew's reaction was, "That's really impressive."
Yeah.
Like in the span of 10 years.
Well, I guess the main part is like
completely flipped.
The main part's like with the screen time stuff. I have like without it, I have no idea how much time I'm spending on my phone.
Agreed.
But like I get it back, I'm like, oh wow, really? Like,
you know what would be nice if they had that counter like on your phone like as a default widget throughout the day. So like you pick it up and then you say, I'm already at 3 hours.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I do like, I know that when I like swipe all the way to the left, it's like down there where I see like a little thing with my time. So every once in a while I do swipe and check, but I agree, like it's kind of like, you know, casinos.
Oh, they don't have the windows.
You're just in when you're in and you don't know how much time you've spent. But I do think it's interesting that like any corporation like Apple, maybe there was like some government regulation or something, because like it's surprising to me that they would even implement technology like screen time, because like why, like you're
right,
it's taking away from your like, it's so unlike a big ass corporation for them.
It's too ethical.
Yeah, exactly.
It's too good for the people, man.
It's like it's borderline like good, like what are they doing, you know, like they're cutting their margins down. Like it's insane.
Yeah. Okay, we'll wrap up. Last thing I want to talk about. We'll end on a high note. Bucket list items, like some stuff you've always wanted to do, but have never gone to do it. I can start if you guys are thinking. So I'm really scared of heights. So I've always wanted to like go skydiving, because that would be like my end all be all. Like I want.
Didn't you say you wanted to die skydiving?
No.
Okay, that was somebody else. My bad.
Ooh,
I was talking to somebody. They're like, that'd be a great way to go out. You know.
It probably would be like instant death. Actually, would it be?
Like,
instant?
what do you have to lose at that point? Like you're 75 and you're about to go anywhere.
Oh, 75. Oh, I thought you meant like I just want to go skydiving, like suicidal. And then I want to die.
I guess it's suicidal either way.
You're about to go. Like damn. I feel like. I mean, to be fair, that's like close to the average mortality age, right?
Yeah. There's also like there's this big ass swing in like New Zealand called the Nevis swing, and it's just like you have to walk like across this like super thin bridge to get there, and it's just like over a canyon, and they just drop you straight down and you just swing. Like that stuff looks like, I know like right now I'm saying like I want to do it, but like in the moment I'd be scared shitless. I know, like it'd be bad.
It's interesting that like so are those two both on your bucket list, or is it?
Yeah, I'd be down to do both, but like I think like, skydiving is more general. Like, yeah. But like I would want to go to like New Zealand and like do that stuff.
So do you think like most of the things on your bucket list would be like fear related, or because like I mean I'm also afraid of heights, right?
Not really.
I think skydiving would be like, I love roller coasters because it is the safest way for me to like test my like willingness to like go through with stuff like
that. The thing is, for me, roller coasters are fine because I'm moving the whole time. But it's just when I'm super high, like I'm suspended somewhere super high up, I can't do it. Yeah. Or like I'm walking across, like I have to walk across a bridge and then I'm looking down. I can't do that.
Yeah. I don't know if this is like good to say, but like I don't trust myself near railings. It's not that I think I'm gonna like jump off, but like it's just like
get an impulse.
It's such a small margin of time that could like decide everything in my life ever. If that railing wavers, if I just go ooh, or like
that happens to me all the time.
It's like impulsive. Exactly. Like I don't.
Wait, what kind of railing are you talking about?
No, not railing. Like one time we went to the Grand Canyon with my family. Yeah. And then like it's super high up. Like I was on the edge, no railing, no nothing. And then like in my mind, I was just like,
it's so crazy. Like you take one step.
Right. Exactly. In my mind, I'm like,
I have so much power.
I'm like, what's stopping me from just like stepping over and falling and dying?
Exactly. And it's not that I'm like yes, I am thinking about doing it, but not because I want my life to end, but just because it's like, damn, like that's so much power.
I feel like I'd get them more if I'm standing behind somebody overhead. I'm like,
what?
Dude, that's so bad.
Hey, bro, if we ever go to the Grand Canyon, you're in the front, bro.
No, actually. No, but like I can't even blame for that, because I was thinking about this the other day. Like, this is how I know I'm not like. There are plenty of years for me to go before I'm like, super, like fully matured. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes like little kids just like I don't like them. Like this is what I mean by this is like You ever see like a little kid and you're like, damn, like what would happen if I just like knocked him over?
What?
Like a little bowling pin, you know? Like
yeah, no, that's a similar type. I don't think that.
I wouldn't do
I don't think
it.
that's a maturity issue.
I think about that with bikers. I hate bikers. Okay, I don't hate bikers, but
Yeah,
like
but you can't kick them over.
no, like when they're riding the
stand
bike, you imagine like they're riding the bike, just shove them over, they'd
Like,
fall.
Is this bad to think about in your mind? Like I have no control over this. I think of it and then like I go in my mind, this is not right.
You know, as long
Can't
as
do
as
this.
long as you don't like
do it.
follow that train of thought and think it's like you know logical.
No, yeah, like I would never do it, right?
Yeah.
But I was like a little bowling pin, you know, like boom.
That's funny.
You truck stick a kid.
I would never, but I've thought.
So that's on your bucket list.
Trucking
a kid?
It's illegal, so I'm gonna say no. Yeah, we'll go with that. No,
You could probably get away with it if you're like 75.
Or just like run, knock him down, and run away like you're ding dong ditching. You just like pretend like you were never there.
That's
you have
fucked.
schizophrenia or something.
Nah.
I swear it was an actual bowling pin.
Nah. Yeah, I think skydiving is on mine too. I feel like that's a common one, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a way to face your fear of heights for sure. I don't know. Anything related with traveling, I could probably say. I don't know. I don't think I've like thought about a bucket list before. Like I've definitely thought about things I want to do, but I've never like compiled anything in my mind even. It would be nice to like visit every single country in the world before I die. But that, I feel like I could live without that too. So I don't know if it's considered a bucket list thing. I don't know.
I have one that's kind of related to traveling. In high school, I got into this niche part of YouTube called bike touring. And I would talk to my friends about, you know, like they go through Europe or they go through like the Western United States and with like a tent and a sleeping bag and water strapped to their back, and you just travel the nation. You just go like hundreds and hundreds of miles and you camp next to the road and you see nature. And that'd be a cool one to do with my dad too. But I feel like if I want to do that, it'd have to be like within the next 3 or 4 years before he like is so old that he can't, you know, carry a bike like that. But I think it'd be nice.
Sure.
That does sound nice. Yeah, another one of mine I think was to give a TED talk, but I don't know what I would give it.
You gotta be important to do this.
Right, I know. So you know.
Do you though? Like I feel like you.
True.
No, TEDx.
honestly,
TEDx, you don't have to be important, but TED is like the organization's flagship type.
I'd settle for a TEDx.
Yeah, okay.
Like
You can give a TEDx like
I
next
can?
week. You
do it.
You have to organize it and pay for it, but
you have to pay for it. I have to pay to speak to people.
New challenge.
Or like you have to have a backing organization at least.
Have a friend set it up for you, and you don't know what the presentation's about. I think that would be so.
That
fun.
would be cool.
That would be so fun. Like they have the presentation, and you have to improv.
Wait, we could honestly set something up like that.
That's just a shit show. Like what's
Nah,
entertaining?
No, it's like a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta improv it, right? Like if I give you like, I set it up and you have to go talk, and it's like why
I wouldn't do it.
why Marvel movies are like the best of all time. You're standing there on a stage like that. Are you gonna walk off? No, right? Like
No,
you
you
have
can't.
to go through with it.
I'll use your slides.
No, dude, that honestly sounds super fun. I would want to do that.
Yeah. Okay, why TED though? Like why do you want to do that?
I don't know. It seems important. It seems cool.
Interesting.
You just want to hear yourself speak.
Ooh.
How?
I mean, you want
to be heard.
You want to be heard. Yeah.
I guess, but I also think like it also means like if I am able to give like a TED talk, that means I have accomplished something nice, or I've accomplished like something that I can speak to.
So that's
so,
like a nice like epitomization of your efforts.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that definitely makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe if this podcast does well, one day we'll see you talking about how to create content.
I don't know. The thing about this podcast is that it's just talking about random stuff, right? So
I mean, you'll get there. I feel like right now this is all like test runs. You know, like we said right now this is us talking. Like nobody cares about any of this like at all. But once you understand like right now you're talking with the intention for you being like to talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once you start talking, I feel like with the intention of entertaining an audience, like I feel like that's what like a podcast eventually becomes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a show, but it's going uncapped for an hour.
Right, right.
People listen to it because like they want a little funny, little interesting insight, stuff like that. That I feel like it's like you're listening to a conversation without like necessarily having to talk. That's basically a podcast, right?
Right. I mean, like, I don't know. The reason I like want to do it is just because I want to talk to people. Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know.
That's a valid motivation.
Yeah,
like I don't. Yeah. Well, like I don't like.
But you do think about becoming big, cause
I do, right? But like, it's not like. But that's not the reason why I'm doing it. I feel like a lot of times it's hard to have these conversations with people like out in public or like with your friends, because like it's either we're always doing school or like we only talk when we play games or stuff like that. But like to actually sit down and have like a conversation about, I don't know, I mean, like who knows what, like whatever you want to talk about. Like I feel like that's like valuable for me, because like if like for now, or the conversations we had for the last it's been an hour and 20 minutes. Nice. Like I'll remember this like for a really long time, right? Like I'll remember like about the stuff we talked about. Whereas like if it's just like casual, like, oh, want to go get food, sure, and we talk about something, I feel like it's not as easy to remember that in a sense, or like it's still memorable, but like I don't know.
No, I totally agree with that. But let me ask you this. I'm asking you this because I've thought about this, because I've thought about making like content. Do you ever like question whether or not you have anything like worthwhile for creating content? Like I feel like sometimes when I'm like thinking about making content, I'm like, is there any like net good or intrinsic value to this, or am I just like putting something out? Which, to be fair, a lot of content creators start off with just putting something out to get in the flow, to understand the grind, and then keep going until they've built a valuable product. But like, do you think about that when you make this? Do you think about like, hey, I'm making something that like has value here?
Not really. Like I feel like I'm just, as of right now, it's just like, it's for me personally. Yeah. It's not like I'm not trying to like please anybody, right?
So why upload it?
Yeah.
So why upload it? Because I might as well. Like we're having this conversation.
Right? No matter how small, there has to be some sort of motivation behind it. Right?
I guess, yeah. But like, I mean, like if I'm recording it and like, or like if I want my friends to see it, right? Or if I want like my family, or like, or maybe like me in the future, I can look back and I can be like, oh yeah, this was what I was doing, right? Like all this stuff, right? Yeah. So like I don't know. As of right now, like I really don't care how many views or like how much stuff I get. Maybe like in the future, if like there's more people watching, then like that'll change. But like as of right now, it's just I want to talk to my friends and then I'll post it like in case anyone else wants to watch. But like I'm not gonna be like, oh, this video underperformed, or like we didn't reach this many views on this video. What happened? I need to go like look at like what we talked about and like what was wrong with this video, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think. Maybe this is a bold take, but I think all successful content creators and all people who want to make content have to be like a little bit like narcissistic. And I'm saying this about myself too, because you have to at a certain point in time think that your voice or what you're making is good enough to like be important, right?
I mean, that's just that's just. Like, I mean, I think you're getting confidence confused with like narcissism, though.
But like with confidence is like believing in yourself, right? When you're a content creator and you believe that you're like, if you believe that you should be successful as a content creator, you're essentially saying that your personality is, which is what most of your content is based on, is unique or in some degree like worth having a share in someone's mind, right?
Right.
Which I think has to be like, I'm not saying narcissistic necessarily in a bad way, but like, I mean,
right? Yeah. No. Actually, yeah.
But like,
no, I actually agree with you. Like, I realize I've thought that in the past too.
You have to have like this innate thing inside you that you're like, I want my voice heard, and I think that my voice has something to say, right? And not everybody like. For example, like I had started to make this series where I was like, essentially the way I said it was, I always get like a lot of solid advice from my parents, but they're like adult age, and their perspective is their perspective. So I wanted to start making videos from my age up until like however old I get when I'm making this, and document what my advice on different things and my perspective on different topics was, so that like if my future kids like see all this, they can see what not only what my perspective is at, let's say, like 39, 49, but also like 19, right? Because like my perspective will have changed on an issue over time, but who I am probably, like, some core values stay the same, so it's easier to, like, I don't know if that like makes sense, but that was the core idea of the series. It was like,
You're gonna go for 20 years?
No, probably not. But like the idea was I'm gonna record myself at a young age, right, where I'm giving out advice to like my future kids.
Sure.
And so that way it's like locked in time that, yeah, you don't agree with old me, maybe look at young me to understand why old me is doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like at some point in time, our parents were our age and probably thought like us, but now they don't. Like they think differently than us, and they have advice that we don't see or we don't like understand necessarily in the moment. So I was gonna make this series, right? And one of my friends asked me a very simple question. He's like, all right, if this is meant for like your future kids, like why post it online? And I was like, I don't know.
Everyone's kids are your kids.
No, because there's that small hope on the inside that it somehow blows up and you can make something out of it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't just for my future kids. It was because like I wanted to make something that I thought was like unique, and like I thought my perspective on these issues was like worth hearing, and what I was saying in my content was worth occupying some fragment of someone's mind out there, which I think inherently,
or maybe I don't think that necessarily means you believe that to be true, but at the very least you hope it to be true. I think that's all it really takes to post.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it is a little bit of a struggle with, like, I guess confidence is a better word for it in my mind, because you have to believe that what you're saying is worth being listened to.
A healthy ego.
I feel like especially in this day and age where it's so easy, like you don't need to pay anything, you don't need to like invest anything in it. Anyone can post anything, right? Back to like the content.
Obviously,
right?
Clearly,
okay, buddy. But like, so like it's kind of like it's very low risk, very like high reward if it ends up blowing up, right? So I mean, like, why not? Why not post it? Like, why would you post it? Why wouldn't I post it?
Nobody's attacking you.
No, I'm not saying, like, I'm just saying in general.
No, because your content's, like, bad, though. So why do you
Then why would I post this?
Honestly,
right?
Like,
I don't know, man.
It makes sense. I guess, I don't know, it goes, it's like, it's the same thing, then it gets reduced to the same argument as, like, why do you say something versus keep it inside your mind, right? Like, it's just another level to that. It's, why are you saying?
At some point, it's not productive to think about that, though. I think. You just gotta. Act.
The more time you spend thinking about it, and like, the consequences of it are
right.
Like
the more you psych yourself out, right? Like, is there something like super service level?
Especially at like our scale right now, where it just doesn't matter. Like it doesn't. When you're like big and people are listening to you, then what you say matters. The consequences of it matter. Right now, it doesn't really. Like, the most you probably have to think of right now is, like, oh, someone, like, doing a background check on me, like, for a job in the future.
Dude,
like, that's it.
When I apply for jobs now, I don't link my Twitter.
Yeah?
Because I have some weird shit on my Twitter.
Dude, I just got Twitter. Like,
really?
I mean, I made an account in 2020, but I just downloaded it again.
Oh, dude.
Because of the Elon Musk thing?
Yeah, I was just like, I want to see what this environment's like. Because I've always thought that Twitter is an absolute waste of time.
Oh, no, Twitter is great. But everyone has their
It's great, man.
No, everyone has their phases. Like,
listen,
no, everyone like there's a timeline of Twitter users. So like, first you download it, and then you try to use it, but it doesn't make any sense. So you stop using it for like 2-3 weeks. Then you come back and look at it again, and it's the greatest thing you've ever seen.
Interesting.
That's exactly what happened to me.
So you're enlightened.
I think my stop period was like 2 years. So maybe.
I made it for like one project that they needed us to download it for, and I haven't touched it since.
The only thing I tweeted for was like a school club in high school. That was the only time I used Twitter.
A lot of stuff from like Instagram or stuff is all like reposted from Twitter. Like Twitter's where most stuff happens first.
But like also Twitter has I think less users than Instagram. Like it's so interesting that things that are trending on Twitter like oftentimes dictate like the headlines for the next day, right? Like. It's just, which is interesting because Twitter has like a smaller user base than like Instagram or anything else. So what makes Twitter like what gives it the responsibility of being like what the people are thinking, you know?
I think it's just because it's so like, I mean, Instagram you have to post a picture, you have to post all that stuff, right? But Twitter is like you see something like you just post post about it.
Yeah.
Tweet about it, right? And then I think like it's also because like it's for the most part it's public, right? Like you can make your account private, but like if someone agrees with it, like, and then like more people will tweet about it, and then like the whole like communities of people who see the tweets will like all like it. And
right,
that's
and Facebook is like more family style niche.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking to your friends.
right. But Twitter, like, oh, people are
It's
absolutely
just
menaces
designated
out
as like
on Twitter.
a public battlefield.
Right.
So this is another question. Have you guys like, I don't know if you follow like SportsCenter or like, you know, the massive pages on Instagram. Have you guys ever like commented under those?
No.
Those things get like tens of thousands of comments on every single post, and I'm trying to understand. I still don't understand like what level of NPC are you to comment on those posts? You know, like I have never commented on those posts in my entire life. I'm a very vocal person.
I think it's a very valid way to blow up.
But like,
because I know I'll recognize people's accounts from comments because they keep leaving them under these accounts.
yeah, but you only see like the most liked or the pinned or whatever.
Right, but once you start getting more and more likes, people will recognize you and they'll like your comments.
But
And
not
I've seen
everybody-
people literally blow up
Not
because of
everybody
that.
who comments is doing it to blow up. I can't believe that.
No, some people like you've heard of the phrase like throwing for content or like acting stupid for content, right?
I don't
Like, some
think
people
commenting is like that big of a decision though.
No, but
Maybe
some
they
people will
just-
just comment shit just to start stuff.
Maybe I think that's you personally. It costs you nothing.
No, I know, but like also you guys don't comment. So I know my friends like don't comment. I'm trying to understand what is the
Like,
difference
what's the
about-
motivation?
Yeah, what's my mindset difference versus
I
someone
think it's
else who just
just
doesn't see
very
that barrier?
small. I don't know. You just enjoy writing something. Like it's not that different from writing to yourself.
They just want their opinions heard, man, I guess.
I guess.
I feel like I don't comment. I always just
I
send
think at a certain point, you can even just classify it as talking to yourself because you know it's going to be thrown into that void, that
Yeah.
huge jumble of 10,000.
Like I
other
send
comments.
the post to someone and then I'll make a comment about it and I'll show someone like, oh look at this is blah
Yeah.
blah blah. But I will never comment under it.
I don't know. I think I've been using the word NPC a lot recently, and that feels like NPC activity.
Yeah.
It's just
Good, you
filled
know.
with
Good that
ten-
you know.
Honestly, like tens of thousands of people who like are just like doing it for the sake of doing it. Like nobody's gonna interact with it. Nobody's gonna like do anything about it. But you just do it to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. Like it's not a big deal. And like people just don't have that same barrier in their mind, so it's like not a big deal to them. But it's just wild to me. Like
It's crazy how you always set your own barriers. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, nobody else is watching, but this is what you designate to be like.
Mm.
No,
a good
exactly.
choice.
It's like the same thing with like why you post a video that like, for example, like why post the podcast? Why not, right? Why comment on this post? Why not? Like you're not doing it necessarily.
Well, I think like I guess like maybe like, are you thinking you don't want to be seen as somebody who doesn't recognize that they don't provide value, and there's a shame in thinking that you do when you post something,
Maybe.
right? Because that's embarrassing to
Yeah.
not have that self-awareness.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, if you're leaving banger comments under everything.
I mean, yeah. There's that produced by Zach guy or whatever who comments under. Have you seen like his
No.
comments under like Kanye's posts and stuff?
Mm.
Like Kanye the goat, no cap, and like he just like commented that on like everybody on all of Kanye's stuff,
Mhm.
and now that Kanye isn't posting anymore, he does it under everything. So it would be like Ja Morant the goat, no cap, and just keeps on doing that. It's like why do that?
It's their brand now.
Yeah.
But although I will never understand the people who comment first on everything. Like that makes.
I've done
no
that
sense
before.
to me.
I think I said first comment on a YouTube video once.
Or I'll do it like if my friends post, right? Because that's like if it's my friend, then like
Yeah,
yeah,
that's like ironic.
right. But I'll never be like first, like huh? Yeah, good job. What do you want? What do you want? A cookie? Like.
I mean, shit, I'll take a cookie.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't understand the value people put under being first. Like, does that mean you're the biggest fan, or like, what does that mean?
I mean,
It's
you're just
cool.
like,
You just the first one there. Nobody
like
else. It's
the-
a coincidence.
yeah.
You know, you want to mark your
what
territory.
are the odds? You know?
Why did people put the U.S. flag on the moon? It's the same reason.
Yeah, why they put the flag?
Nationalism is the same
First.
thing as commenting first.
Dude, Buzz Aldrin was pissed that Neil Armstrong.
Was he actually?
Yeah, because he thought he was gonna be the first man on the moon, and then they told him, like, actually, Neil Armstrong is gonna be the first man on the moon
How do you
because.
like decide that? You're like, yo.
No, I think it was because one of them was a civilian and the other one wasn't.
How does that work?
Why would they allow a civilian up before an astronaut?
I don't know.
Before 2 astronauts?
No. They were both astronauts, but one of them was a civilian, as in like military.
Oh.
I think. And for some moral reason that...
Fuck that, dude. I would have ran and just touched the moon first.
Like, fuck yeah.
I'll not be demeaned like that.
Nah, that's like... I feel like I'm too competitive to let that happen. Like, they're like, oh...
Would you sacrifice your career?
you pull
Would you
his
sacrifice your career to be the first man on the moon?
First man on the moon? Hell yeah.
But
dude.
no,
To live
think
in
about it, your
infamy?
reputation.
I don't care. I'm on the moon,
I
bro.
can't write books about this and become a trillionaire.
No, everybody hates you though.
Why?
Because
Why?
you're gonna seem conceited and selfish.
No, say we had no one knows what happened up there. You can make up a
No,
story.
but they're gonna everybody down on the
whoops.
ground knows what the plan was.
I fell, guys. My bad.
Listen, you said he let me go first.
Yeah. There was miscommunication.
That'd be a great TV show,
Yeah.
or like a great movie.
Would it?
Yeah.
Some other dudes getting on the moon first and like getting hate for it.
No, like you sabotage, or like it's a movie about like fake news and stuff, right?
I'm so lost now.
Never mind.
No. Explain this.
No, like-
I want to make you cringe now. Explain
Oh
this.
my god. Okay, so they go up to the moon, and this person was going on the moon first, but this other dude goes like, "No, I'm going on the moon first," and like sabotages him, and like maybe he dies, maybe he doesn't die.
That's $1 million idea.
Maybe he dies,
Yeah.
and he dies. Okay, let's say he dies.
No, okay, we gotta get together. We're gonna take down Marvel, guys. We'll do it.
Let's say he dies.
This is the neoliberalism of what you said. Like,
Alright,
Neo
alright.
enlightenment.
Yeah.
Alright, in order to be the first living person on the moon, he pulls his cord while the other guy's going on there. No oxygen, he dies in space.
that's amazing.
Okay? Now this guy goes on the moon, he's the first one, plants the flag, does all that good shit, comes back into the freaking spaceship, and then he comes down and he's like, "Oh yeah, man, his mask malfunctioned."
Oh wait, plot twist. They were lovers.
Okay,
That's
alright.
I'm liking it. I'm
I'm
liking
like it. Wait, so they? Oh, wait.
Betrayal, love.
Oh,
It's everything.
the legacy is worth more than love.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a concept.
This is amazing.
Okay.
I'm loving this.
They come back, it tells a story, all that stuff. But one person knew. I don't know who that person would be.
No.
Well, like there was a monkey on the spaceship too.
Interesting. Okay, and the monkey knew?
No, it was a cockroach, and then. So what happens is the cockroaches can survive nuclear attacks and shit, right? So this
Sure.
cockroach communicates with all of its descendants, and then in the super far future, when we can communicate with animals, the cockroach tells the human, "This is what happened," and tells them the real story.
So it takes place like thousands of years in the future where humans and cockroaches are communicating to figure
Any
out.
animals are communicating.
Interesting.
$1 billion idea.
A couple thousand maybe. Let's start off. Build up.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
Get a $44 billion idea, we can buy Twitter.
Yeah. For sure.
That's our next project. Fuck the podcast. Start filming, start writing.
Dude, I'm already writing right now in my head.
Yeah?
It's all getting written down. I'm at scene 7 right now.
Dude, writing dialogue is pretty freaking hard.
Have you written dialogue?
I've tried, yeah.
Damn. That's some theater kid shit right there.
Oh,
That's
he
crazy.
was.
Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I look at you differently now.
Yep.
Losing respect.
Good. Huh? What?
What?
Say it out louder.
What?
Say it out louder. Yeah, who said that?
I think that was like the first
Oh,
sentence.
okay, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Huh? I mean, if y'all haven't want to talk about anything else?
No,
I think we had a very thoughtful and
Yeah.
productive discussion.
Well, I guess that's it. Thank you for watching, guys. This is the first one. Don't know how many more are coming. Might be the last. Actually, no, we should have like a couple more, but we'll see. I'll just try to keep it going so I have some stuff to do during the semester. But yeah, thank you.